For the fantasy football season, and here's a few tight ends I look to drop this week. The first guy, Hunter Henry of the New England Patriots. So Hunter Henry, he's been non-existent so far the first 3 weeks of the season. And there's better tight end options than him, no doubt about it, on waiver wires. Week 1 in Miami, 2 catches, 20 yards. Week 2 with the Steelers, a target, goose egg ball game. And week 3 versus the Ravens, a catch for 8 yards. So right now reports are coming out. Obviously, Mac Jones is going to miss multiple weeks with an ankle injury. And right now, Patriots looking at other options to bring in, including Cam Newton, possibly coming back to this New England Patriot team where he played a couple seasons ago with them. But right now, this team's in shambles, and the better days are behind them. Obviously, a lot of people thought it was Belichick with this team more than Tom Brady, but now seeing what we've seen over the last few years here, without Tom Brady, this team's just the middle of the pack type of team here. And it's tough for them to get the ball around to everybody, even though I know Devontae Parker is coming off a big game. Besides that, the tight ends, Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, haven't done anything this season. And it's surprising to me, Henry's still owning 42% of fantasy leagues. So right now, he's a tight end to drop. And even if he has a big game here and there, he's not going to do it consistently. And anyone in this Patriots offense is pretty much hard to own besides Stevenson and Damian Harris. The next guy's Albert O of the Denver Broncos. Albert O, a lot of people thought would be a good breakout candidate and a good fantasy contributor this season. But I mentioned him as a drop last week, and I'm going to keep mentioning him as a drop. He's still owning 43% of fantasy leagues, which is a lot in my opinion. Week 1 in Seattle, 5 catches, 33 yards. Week 2 versus Houston, 2 targets, got the goose egg. And week 3 versus the 49ers, a catch for 12 yards. So right now, he's not getting the job done. This Denver Bronco offense still in shambles. Besides Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy and Javonte Williams, there's no one else really worth to hold on your fantasy team. Russell Wilson's been struggling, but he's a guy you can't start as well this season here. You just stash on your bench and hope he breaks out. But right now, Albert O's not getting the job done. I know he's a guy we could see break out later in the season, but right now, there's no reason to hold on to him on your roster. And I don't really like holding on to 2 tight ends as well on my fantasy team. So right now, with Albert O not doing anything, and this Bronco offense not having an identity or moving the football, he's an easy tight end to drop this week. In the third and final tight end I look to drop Cole Kmet of the Chicago Bears. So like I mentioned in other videos, a lot of Bears on these drop lists this week, and rightfully so. This offense just can't do anything besides running the football. Fields ain't hitting his playmakers. And Cole Kmet, he's had 6 points the whole year in PPR leagues. Week 1 versus San Francisco, a target, goose egg. Week 2 with Green Bay, a target, goose egg. And then week 3, still only 3 targets versus Houston, 2 catches, 40 yards. So week 4 at the Giants, not a bad matchup, but how could you trust him as well? Still owned in 43% of fantasy leagues. And there's better tight ends I'd rather have than him. An Irv Smith Jr., I'd rather have a Tyler Conklin, who's been playing great football so far in the early going here. And even Gerald Everett, even though he came off a bad ball game in week 3. So right now, Cole Kmet's not getting the job done. No reason to hold on to him. And like I said, no one in this Bear offense is worth a roster spot right now, except obviously a Khalil Herbert and a David Montgomery. So that's a few tight ends I've looked to drop here for week 4 of the fantasy football season.